afternoon, and welcome to the Chicago City Treasurer's Office exciting new credit money management program called Money Matters Institute, or MMI. We are very excited you're joining us for our very first webinar in this series of comprehensive financial education programs. The MMI mission is to empower all Chicagoans with the knowledge and skills needed to make informed financial decisions to build wealth today for tomorrow. MMI is a 3-session series of programs through webinars and workshops now through November. We will begin our first session with money goals and values. This workshop will help you understand your relationship with money and to get to the root of your spending habits, saving habits, while learning practical skills for improving your money mindset. Throughout the presentation, please feel free to post your questions in the chat. At the end of the presentation, we will respond to your questions. And next second, Pam Stallings is Vice President of the Chicago Urban League Housing and Financial Empowerment Center. Pam will be presenting Examining Your Relationship with Money Using Financial Therapy and Financial Counseling and Coaching. Pam, thank you so much for joining us. Please take it away.
Okay. All right. Financial therapy. We're going to talk a little bit about financial therapy. And it's like any other therapy. Really want to think about financial therapy as therapy. So thank you so much for joining us today. Next slide. So first, we want you to examine your relationship with money. Just like any other relationship you have in life, you really need to understand your relationship. What was your first experience with money? We do understand the value of money from the beginning of our existence, starting with our family and their views about money. Understanding how money was valued within your family growing up can bring clarity to understanding your family relationship with money. So was money tight growing up? Was you never had to worry about money growing up as a kid? So those are our first stages of just finding out and examining the relationship you have with money. Here are a few questions to consider that would illuminate your relationship to money based on your upbringing. Family patterns. How did your parents handle money? Was one person in charge of finances than the other? So did dad handle them, or did mom and dad handle them? How did your grandparents handle money and their relationships? Do you remember your parents going to your grandparents? Do you remember your grandparents or your mom or dad giving your grandparents money? Have historical events like the recession. I always hear, well, when we were in the recession, and that's how sometimes we form our values. It's because of the experiences that we have been through. And then there's some financial ways that we can look at things. How do you handle them on your day-to-day day-to-day journey? So financial obstacles. What kind of financial difficulties have occurred in your family? Was there a death in the family? Are there some financial problems that have occurred more frequently in your family than others? What difficulties do you feel have affected you the most? Have you been held back by financial difficulties your family has faced? And what in your family financial history has affected your use of finances the most? So you really have to think about, did I ever have any obstacles? Or if I had obstacles, then what did I do to get from around it? Then family rules. What was the messages members of your family taught you about finances? What were family rules about money? What financial topics were talked about? What financial topics were not talked about? So those are things, what was talked about and then what was not talked about. Sometimes what's not talked about can be a root of everything. Understanding financial therapy. So let me just make sure you understand. So now we thought about what we should think about in therapy, but financial therapy is a merge between financial literacy. So that's what Jared is explaining to us, and then that emotional support when making decisions that can cause financial stress. So that's even seeking out a counselor. So you would need a counselor to help you seek out your feelings. Sometimes we don't know why we don't save. Sometimes we don't know why we spend so much. So getting both of those together will really help you understand your relationship with money. So, reasons to consider financial therapy. Often you feel stressed or overwhelmed when thinking about money. It's like, oh man, it's the first of the month. How am I going to pay all of my bills? And your debt has increased, you're stressed, and you are unable to see how you're going to pay it off. Examples of unhealthy financial routines will be gambling, compulsive shopping, not having a savings account, living paycheck to paycheck, which some of us do. Finances are a major source of arguments with family as well as with our partners. So I don't know if it's still the number one cause of divorce, but sometimes finances play a big part in that. Financial situations that people commonly find stressful or trouble include high levels of debt and insufficient funds to pay off debt, unexpected loss of income or assets, increase of financial responsibilities such as cost with charging, caring for a new child or sick family member, differences in spending habits or values between people who share income, compulsive spending or gambling, bankruptcy or foreclosure, and then there is poverty. You just do not have enough. To change financial behavior, someone must be emotionally triggered or affected by a serious consequence. Someone must be inspired to save money if they know they have a support system that will help them in their efforts, like having a 401k. Or you can also contact your company to see if they have a matching savings plan. So these are things that can match on behalf as well as your contributions. Now, our brain process things around us either fast thinking, compulsive, reactionary, immediate, or emotional, or slow thinking, eternal, patient, conscious analyst can make a logical choice. So change happens when someone is emotionally triggered or consequences happen for the lack of money. So these things can bring that great stress on us. And it's exactly what the psychologist has explained. It just overwhelms us. Here is what can lead to positive money practices over time. So remember, if you think about how long did it take you to get you in a situation? It's probably how long it will almost take you to get out. So you need to learn practical techniques that can improve negative financial behaviors you have adopted over time. Talking to a financial advisor or a counselor will help you sort through your debt management. Establishing savings goal help you create a practical budget that you can meet each month and address with credit issues. Understanding your triggers related to spending money, like arguing with a loved one, can trigger impulsive shopping habits. The triggers can be a bad day at the office, resulting in spending money on a bottle of wine multiple times a week. This can add up. Going to get that sip of wine can add up. In order to change these behaviors, you must replace the reaction to this trigger. For example, instead of responding to the trigger by buying that bottle of wine, replace it with running, walking, or doing a fun activity to cheer your mood. How to have a healthy relationship with money. So you have to have boundaries. You really have to set boundaries. That's even with setting a goal, you want to have a beginning and an end, just like Jared shared with us. You want to set goals. When you're setting those goals, you're setting boundaries. And you want to stop comparing yourself to someone else. I always say when I'm doing counseling sessions, when I'm talking to somebody about their money, nothing is a cookie cutter. Everybody have different experiences, have different incomes, have different expenses. So never compare yourself. Find somebody that's like-minded. Find someone who's trying to strive for the same thing that you're striving for. Seek professional help. There is free professional help. I am a HUD certified counselor, and any HUD approved agency should be able to give you free professional help with budgeting. I always say I charge free 99. Accountability, just like Jared said, you need accountability partner. Uh, I know, and I will confess that on my weight loss journey, I have accountability partner. We're to the point now where we are writing down what we eat, and I would suggest you do the same for accountability on what you spend your money on. The greatest thing that happens is when I am counseling a client and they truly understand what their spending habit is. So it's not my job to tell you what you can and cannot do, but my job is to show you and give you options and just really just to make sure you understand what you're doing. Let go of the past. Yeah, we messed up. Yeah, we've had a foreclosure, we filed bankruptcy, but you know what? You can do this again and you can do it better because what do? We should learn from our mistakes and we can do better and we should do better. The little things add up. So the more and more we do little things become big things. And then also the more and more we spend on little things, they become big expenses. Have a positive attitude. I cannot express that. You know your bank account is negative, but you know what? You're going to say, you know what? I'm not going to have that much of a negative bank account next week. I'm going to make sure I write everything down and make sure I reach my goal. So you got to have a positive attitude even on a negative situation. Special plans. You need to plan out everything. Things happen, things come up. That's why when you're planning things, you need to make sure you have an emergency account because that is where those special plans come into. And then you're going to just say it's time out for everything. Then you have to think about self because your health plays a major part into just saying time out on everything. I really need to think about what I'm doing, and that is all part of having that healthy relationship with money. You need to give yourself some grace, just like Jared said. Financial therapy is that merge between a financial literacy and emotional support on decisions that can cause financial stress. Remember, financial therapy touches both your personal finance and your mental health. Financial therapy creates healthier mindsets about money to change negative behavior. It examines what you believe about money and those beliefs affect your behavior. And the end goal is to help keep your finances in order and provide the necessary advice to keep your finances in good condition. And I always tell people finances does relate to your mental health. And as a counselor, and I always tell people I'm not a divorce counselor. I'm a financial counselor, so I'm not gonna take sides. I'm only gonna give you what I see on paper because that explains. Because when I ask for a budget and you give me 3 lines, and then I have to go to your bank statement and see how you've been spending at Sip and Savor or you've been spending at Starbucks, then that's when we have to start that therapy session. So, what does a housing financial counselor help you do? We help you understand basic financial literacy, help you manage your debt, teach you money management, help you learn what your financial goals are, and create a strategy to work towards them, help you understand how money impacts your personal relationship and self esteem. They figure are if you are eligible for grants, if possible, if you need resources that refer you to getting help from public assistance, and we help you understand your credit score because it can fluctuate, and we can tell you why perhaps it's fluctuating. So there are common tasks in that financial therapy, that's setting up and implementing a spending plan. Now, spending plan sounds better than a budget, right? So we're going to help you set up that spending plan. What you value on spending your money on the most is basically what I see on that bank statement is what you value. And what do you value spending money on the least? So sometimes, yeah, I don't really want to spend money on paying bills, but I have to. But we can look and see what your values are. So remember, financial therapy is not the cure. This is not a financial cure to your problems or issue. There could be some other deeper issues. So if I see that you visited the local store, and I'm not going to go into what kind of store, but it could be some issues, but that's not me. That's not my department. I'm just going to say, it's only so much rum cake we can make in a week. Great. So I would encourage you to contact our counselors. They are ready to assist you. Pamela Gilbert, she's a budget counselor. All of my counselors are HUD, we are all HUD certified, and we all do the same thing. We just sometimes specialize in different areas. So Pamela Gilbert, she's our budget counselor pre-purchase. Eva Lee Serrano, she's also our bilingual counselor. She's our pre-purchase budget counselor. And Deirdre Beaver, she specializes in rental counseling, and she is also a budget counselor. So we want to thank you. And then I also want to invite you to our house here at Chicago-Ervin League, and we are located 4510 South Michigan.
Much. We're over, Pam, we're having a little technical difficulty, but I'm right here with you, I promise.
Okay.
So we want to tell you, thank you so much. That's very, very helpful. Pam, that was something you said, and you compared it, I think, beautifully to a weight loss journey. That it is step by step by step by step, pound by pound, dollar by dollar, right?
It definitely is. And it is an eye opener because as I'm talking to my accountability partner, I didn't want to tell her I ate that slice of bread with jelly, but I did put the egg down there. So, it's a reality check that, although I'm saying it, I understand and I know how hard it is. And that's how come we ask you, okay, what's your budget? And then when numbers don't add up, then we're saying, okay, is something else going on? Because the numbers should add up. And we are not here to judge you. We are here to help you.
Yeah.
I have heard so many stories and I've helped so many people that I don't remember what your income is or was, because I am into helping you get to where you want to be, helping you set goals, helping you get that house that you want, that you dream of, if that's what you want. Everybody may not want a house, but still, whatever your financial journey is, we're here to help you. So we're not here to judge. And like you said, if you feel as though that, you know, if you feel convicted, you should be, because that's part of your emotions and that's part of your changing what you're trying to change. So you're gonna go through some hurt. You're gonna go through some reality check. Like I said, dang, I want to lose weight, but I ate that butter, that bread, and that jelly, you know. So it is what it is, and just being honest with people it is most important, because people think that, oh, okay, well, you don't understand how it is to have a child. Yes, I do. And it's probably the people who've experienced the most can give you the most. And meaning that they've experienced it, so they know and they're sympathetic and they can understand that if you really don't have it, then let's figure a way where you can get it. But it's up to you what you want to achieve.
So let's talk about that for just a moment. Just so everybody knows, if you're just joining us, this is the Money Matters Institute. It is a new credit and money management program that is being rolled out by the Chicago Treasurer's Office. We're rolling from now through November in the form of webinars like this one. And then we repeat on Thursday what we're talking about here in person. So if you're listening or watching and you are like, oh my gosh, I didn't get all that, I want some more, I need to learn more, come join us on Thursday night along with financial counselors, and that's the key. This is a 3-piece program. There's the webinars you can watch from wherever you are. You can join us in person to talk to real, actual human beings live in person and ask your questions and hear what they have to say and learn even more. And you will get an opportunity to sign up for personal financial counseling, which is what the Chicago Urban League does. So Pam, can you tell us what that means? What is personal financial counseling? What does that mean if I sign up for that? And who's qualified to do it?
Yes, so we are a HUD approved agency, and what that means is that we stand on a code of ethics, as well as we have to go through an array of I guess say compliance matters that as an agency that we have to achieve. And by saying that sounds like, oh, that's real fancy, but that just means that HUD comes in, they look at what we do, they examine what we do, and they say, hey, you guys are doing a great job, because there's certain things that we have to provide from you, and it is free because we are HUD approved. We do get grants from other agencies. So sometimes we get grants, CAR dollars from our local banking institutions, as well as we apply for grants from the federal government. So that's how we are paid. That's why we are able to uh, give you that free 99 coaching session. And sometimes people think free, what's that kind of value you're getting? Well, you know what? You're getting the best value possible, because as a certified counselor, I had to pass an exam, a 3-hour exam. So everybody knows and understands what HUD wants us to do for the community. So what's going to happen in that one-on-one counseling session? We're going to ask you for your income. So whether you're employed, whether you are retired, we're still going to ask for that income. So whatever income you have, then we're going to ask for a budget. So we're going to send you a budget sheet and say, hey, can you fill this out? Because we want to know, where you're at. We're going to ask you to get all of your information and gather your information if you have credit cards. So whatever's on that credit report, we're going to ask for a credit report. So whatever kind of free credit report you can get, we just want to make sure that we're not missing out on anything. And then we're going to ask for those bank statements. And why we're going to ask for those bank statements? Because you're not going to remember everything. So when we're doing all the calculations, we're looking at your debt to income ratio. We're looking to see exactly, are there any money leaks? Uh, we're gonna look at your money and look and see, is it something that you can, or how you can reach your goals. So by gathering all that information, it's going to help us get to where you want to get to, because we're going to ask you, what's your ultimate goal? And I want to save $1,000. Okay, we're going to look at your finances and see, is that realistic, or do we need to change some behaviors?
That is very, very helpful in terms of understanding what we need to do. If there were 3 things you want us to walk away from, if we learn nothing else, or if we miss the first part of this, what's the most important thing you want us to remember? Jared, we'll start with you.
First and foremost, you have to find out what is your why, right? What is the reason that's going to want to help you to hit those goals? Second, put it on paper. And when I say put it on paper, that's where you put your plan together. That's where you're talking it over with your banker or with your counselor. That's where you identify your accountability partner, right? Putting it on paper. Oh, and by the way, put a date on it, because that's one someone told me 25 years ago, it means nothing if it doesn't have a date.
That's true. We learned that in school, right? You have to put
Yes.
everything, put your date on it. Put your date on it. Very good. Thank you so much, Jared. Hold that thought. Pam, what's your 3? No, more important than anything. If they've got nothing else out of this, what are the 3
If
things?
they don't get anything out of this, get your free financial therapy counseling session. If nothing else, just figure out, okay, what do I feel about, and how do I feel about money? Then I would advise you to make an appointment with a housing counselor in order to help you achieve your goals. And then lastly, set goals. Just like Jared said, set goals. So that means not only talk about it, but have a beginning and an end. Because in and what are the things that we're going to do is that we are going to help you. We're going to give you a plan an action plan. So on exiting your counseling, your one-on-one counseling, we're going to give you an action plan. And that action plan is going to say, okay, you're going to start in the month of May, you're going to start saving $50 every pay. And then you're going to have $1,000 by the end of January 2025. So whatever it, I didn't do the calculations, but whatever that equals up to, you got to have a beginning and end. So that's setting those goals.
I want to remind you of a couple of things. Please, you see the slide there that says, thank you for attending. We want to see you this Thursday evening at 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. We will be live in person at the Chicago Urban League. You see the address there. It is 4510 South Michigan Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. It goes 6 to 7:30. We will be there to answer any questions you may have. If you'd like to talk to somebody privately, there's a private space. You can say, I just need to have a conversation with you. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. They're going to be there to help you. The financial counselors are there. All of this is free of charge. All of this is for Chicago residents to help you. And we want to make sure here at the CTO, by the way, apparently I didn't tell you, I'm Dana Eubanks. I'm with the Chicago Treasurer's Office. We want to ask you here at the Chicago Treasurer's Office to please take the survey that you will see pop up on the screen in the chat. There's a link. You can also see a QR code, and that will give you an opportunity to tell us what you think. We want to better serve you. So please, please, please take the survey. And please sign up. Spread the word. Tell your family, tell your friends. Bring somebody with you on Thursday night. We look forward to seeing you. And then know that we do these webinars. This is going to happen twice a month. So the next one is May 7th. And we want to make sure that we remember to tell you then we're going to be talking about your credit.
I'm excited.
And how you can go to talk with Pam again at the Chicago Urban League and TransUnion. Before I go, remember you can sign up for financial counseling. Go to the link. Go to the Chicago Treasurer's website that you see there. You can find out how to sign up for free credit counseling. You can also come to the event. You can also call them and ask to speak with any of the counselors. And you just met Pam Stalling, who's the VP there. And you can sign up to go with any of the financial counselors. Again, this is a free of charge service. And it is free of charge out of the Chicago Treasurer's Office. And the banks, when people go, oh, I don't know about the banks are here to help you. And they all have a commitment to the community as well. And we are grateful to them for joining us in this effort with the Money Matters Institute, also known as MMI. You have joined us for our very first webinar. And we want to thank you, Pam, very much from the Chicago Urban League. We appreciate so much your time and your sharing your expertise with us. And we thank you for joining us today. This will also be out again. We're going to send out a link to you by email if you've been able to join us and register. You can also see it again on Facebook, and you can also see it on YouTube. So we thank you all very much for joining us, and the Chicago Treasurer's website, of course. Thank you again. Have a great day.